Hello and welcome back to your South King County real estate update. Today is a very special episode because it is our year-end recap episode. So this is our 2023 recap and 2024 predictions. I cannot wait to get into this, and there is a lot to cover today. So I'm going to go ahead and hop right on into these slides. Today is Friday, December 29th, 2023. The year is just a couple days away from being over. This year has gone by so fast. So let's hop into our 2023 recap. For home prices, we did come up in King County overall on home prices. All counties did go up a little bit, some more than others. In King County, we went from 827 to 885,500. Closed sales from a year ago for November, since we don't have our December numbers quite yet. Overall, we saw fewer closed sales for single family homes and most areas for condos as well. In the east side, home sales did actually tick up in the number of home sales. And for condos in the southeast King County, we saw a pretty big increase, 42% in the number of condo sales. For prices, we're up in pretty much all categories. Condos in North King County and Southwest King County did tick down a little bit, but otherwise, we're up in all areas on price. And if we look at what happened over 2023 and compare that to the 49-year average, the dark bars there are the 49-year average. We generally see a little bit of appreciation in January, February, and that increases in March, April, May, June, and then we kind of tick down from there throughout the rest of the year. For 2023, we saw a depreciation in January from the year before, but we skyrocketed after that. 1.3, 1.5 in March and April. That's pretty significant compared to the half that we normally see. And this is Southwest King County and Southeast King County. Overall, for Southwest King County, we had a 1.6 month supply at the beginning of December. So that is a shortage of inventory. In Southeast King County, similar story, 1.4 month supply overall, which is also a shortage. But if we look at the price point breakdowns in Southwest King County, $350,000 to $500,000. Extreme frenzy, severe shortage, 0.8 months supply in that category. Whereas if we look at the Southeast, the below 350 is 0.6 months supply, severe shortage, frenzied market. So it really depends on what you're looking for, what area you're looking in, on what the market is doing exactly. But overall, it is a seller's market. We are seeing high demand for these homes, despite the fact that it is that slower time of year. For new resale listings coming to the market, we were way below what we would normally expect to see throughout the entire year. But our line is getting a lot closer to the normal trend line. I'm inferring from this that we are headed back into that normal cycle and that we will fall back into that normal cycle line, or at least pretty close to it next year. For total buyer contracts, again, we're far below where we were, but if homes aren't on the market, people can't buy them. So the shortage of inventory created fewer sales in our industry, in addition to the affordability challenges that were caused by the higher interest rates and the prices that didn't really soften much. But I feel like if we did have more inventory available last year, we would have had more buyer sales. These are those two lines overlaid. The green is new resale listings and the orange are pended listings. The closer the orange bars get to the green line, the hotter the market is, the faster the turnover for homes. You can see during the pandemic here, the orange bar was meeting up with the green bar pretty much the whole time. Then last year, 2022, we had a bit more of a gap. It wasn't as frenzied of a market as it was the 2 years prior. And now we just have so many fewer listings that those listings that do come to the market are getting kind of snatched up. The orange bar is touching the green line at the end here. This is kind of a national look, but if we look at active listing count for November from prior to the pandemic compared to now, We are really short on inventory. This is just driving it home that it's not just the pandemic years that had low inventory. We are still low inventory, just not as low as we were during those unicorn years during the pandemic. And change in inventory year over year here in Washington, we are down about 3%. But if we look at month over month, November, so from October to November, we're up 4.3% in inventory. We're seeing that inventory grow, and that is good news. For mortgage rates, average mortgage rates slide to lowest levels since May. The average 30-year fix dipped to 6.61 for the weekly average. So this is great news. We've been seeing this trend of having these mortgage rates tick down for several weeks here, 9 weeks, ninth straight week of lowering rates on the weekly average. Heading into the new year, the economy remains firm. We have a tight labor market, decelerating inflation, and rebounding housing market. So this is from the chief economist at Freddie Mac. He's pretty optimistic heading into 2024. And the Fed has opted not to move rates at its last 3 meetings. So that is a good sign for investors that affect the interest rates through the 10-year yield. And some housing economists are forecasting that home sales will increase next year on the assumption that mortgage rates will ease further. And if we look at today's interest rates, we're at 6.67. So that's up a tad from yesterday. It's kind of funny. We are not too far off from where we started the year on those interest rates. Looking back, we were over 8% on our daily rate back in October. In that moment, it might have been hard to believe that we would be down to 6.5-ish by the end of the year, but here we are at 6.6. This is the year in interest rates, blue being our daily reported interest rate and the orange one being our weekly average. We have really come down since October here. This is a really great trend to see, getting that inflation under control, and heading forward, I expect to see rates tick down a little bit more. Despite mortgage rates reaching 23-year highs, low inventory levels are spurring surprisingly strong competition. Depleted inventory stocks are gradually recovering, and price appreciation is slowing, but demand has remained resilient, and attractive, appropriately priced listings are moving quickly. So the key there is attractive, appropriately priced listings are moving quickly. There are some people out there that are overpricing their homes when they go on the market and have to do a price reduction a week or 2 or 3 in. We have some homes that are sitting on the market longer, but those that are presented and priced well are still selling quickly. And that is our 2023 recap. And into our 2024 forecast. I do have a little crystal ball here because anybody's guess on this is as good as anybody else's as far as what's going to happen in the future. I try to stay pretty informed, and I've looked at a bunch of different resources getting these numbers together, but there's always room for change. And if you know exactly what's going to happen, let me know what the lotto numbers are. It's one of those type of things. Will Seattle area rebound in 2024? Here are 5 projections. So this is from the Seattle Times, and it came out 2 days ago. We have been a traditionally, or at least recent history, very high priced market. And we're topping the national charts for home price growth and stuff here in Seattle. But we've had that kind of level off. Home prices have stagnated a little bit. Some people that might want to list their homes are not really making that move because they don't want to give up their low interest rate or can't afford what they want to move into, whole variety of reasons. But what will 2024 bring? This article says more of the same. Home shoppers could get some relief if mortgage rates decline and more homes hit the market for sale, but renters are squeezed between still high costs and tighter apartment availability and may not be so lucky. Here are 5 projections for the Seattle real estate market. Home prices are set to tick up. So we'll go through each of these, and then I'll show some national numbers, talk about each one as we go through this article. The home price projections. This person from the Washington Center of Real Estate Research thinks between 1 and 2% statewide and 1.5% to 3% in Seattle Bellevue areas. Matthew Gardner from Windermere, chief economist. His guess is about 3%. And Zillow is looking at about 1% dip by the end of 2024. So we are all over the board here, up 3% to down 1%. If we look at some of these projections, this one says Zillow may have updated their projections, but all of these are very across the board. The average of these home price forecasts is about 1.5%. So if we take the most optimistic and the most pessimistic view and average them all out, we get about 1.5% on the home price forecast for next year. Mortgage rates may drop slightly. So 30-year fixed was just below 7 in mid-December. It dropped almost a full percentage point from 6 weeks earlier. So that's that plummet from October to December we just talked about. We shouldn't see that drastic of a drop continue into the future. The forecasts for this are all over the board. Fannie Mae, National Association of Realtors, Redfin, and others say they expect mortgage rates to stay above 6% in 2024. Fannie Mae projects that 30-year fixed will average 6.7 in 2024 and 6.2 in 2025. And I've seen projections that suggest we'll be somewhere below 6, somewhere in the 5s for other forecasts. Really, we don't know what's going to happen in that area. This graphic is from a couple weeks ago, so it was still above 7 then. But if it stays above 7, there's going to be a bit of a slower market. If it's in the upper 6s, more buyers, a few more listings will come to the market and higher intensity. And if it drops into the lower 6s, many more buyers, a few more listings, higher intensity, possible price increases. It all depends on what these interest rates do headed into next year as far as how intense the market is going to be. Expect more homes for sale, but not many. Many homeowners have low interest rates right now because they purchased or refinanced during those unicorn pandemic years. So they don't want to let go of that super low interest rate and go to something with a higher interest rate. And that is locking up a lot of inventory right now. And supply of homes is about 29% fewer listings hitting the market in King County from January through November than the same period last year. So almost 30% fewer listings have come to the market this year than the year before. And if mortgage rates hover around 6% in the new year, more homeowners are likely to make a move and list their home for sale. But if they stay above 6, then things may be a little more limited. But if we look at our new listings, normally we would have expected to see new listings drop off at this sharper angle, but we are coming at a shallower angle. So we're meeting right up with these trend lines that we've seen in the past. So we are just falling back into the normal trends that we would have seen if it wasn't for all the craziness of the past few years. 2024 home sales forecast compared to 2023 is projected to be about 20% higher. And apartment rents are poised to climb. So if you're debating whether you want to purchase a home or stay in your rental, rentals are expected to climb in their cost and become harder to find based on availability. They're not really building as many new apartment buildings as they were in the past. We just don't have as many new apartment listings coming to the market in 2024, 2025 as we have in prior years. It's harder for investors to finance these types of projects right now. Because of the lack of inventory, we are going to predict that there will be an increase in rental costs. And this one I'm just going to touch on ever so slightly because it was in the article, but I don't really do much of the office stuff. But office woes are likely to persist. There are more people working from home now than there were prior to the pandemic. There's been some people shifting back into the market, but Microsoft, Meta, they've all shed office space recently. We don't really expect to see that turning around in 2024, maybe a little bit more coming to the office, but overall that work from home has really stuck for a lot of industries. Should I purchase today or wait until interest rates come back down? Purchase when the timing is right for you. In your local market, if there is a shortage of supply of available homes for sale, we often see an increase in home prices after the first of the year. especially in the more affordable and mid-price ranges. The math may lean towards purchasing today. Economists are forecasting that home mortgage rates will lower over the year ahead. However, weigh today's higher monthly mortgage interest payments against the possible increase in home prices. So if home prices go up, you may have equal or higher payment, even if the interest rate has gone down. Plus, you'll have the increased demand and potentially higher price because of the bidding wars that could potentially come if interest rates go down much. Tips for buyers and sellers in 2024. For buyers, be buyer ready day one. If possible, become fully underwritten for a mortgage before a purchase agreement is signed. And for sellers, be market ready day one. Showcase your home in the best light to get the best price, and make sure you have an agent that's actively marketing your listing, taking full advantage of that first opening weekend and that backlog of buyers. And highest sales activity intensity is the first 30 days on the market. So you really have to focus on your marketing before you go live and make sure everything is market ready day one so that it can show the best that it can right when it hits the market. And that is your 2024 forecast. Just a quick touch, I do have my winter buyer and seller guides available. I can send those out. I can deliver a hard copy. Just let me know how to get it to you, as well as our 2024 housing forecast from J. Lennox Scott, the chairman and CEO of John L. Scott. Stay tuned for more information. January is Home Buyer Education Month. I will be hosting a total of 4 classes, 2 of which are the Washington State Housing Finance Commission down payment assistance class that you need to take in order to use that specific loan program. The other 2 are going to be more first-time homebuyer general classes on the 5th and the 20th. So make sure to visit my website there, reach out via phone number, text, whatever, and get your information. I will have more information and the registration links available on my website within the next few days. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. My phone number and email address are on the screen there. I would love to have a conversation about the real estate market in an area you're interested in or interested in moving to, maybe answer some of these more national versus local questions about the market. Just reach out. We'll have a conversation. Lastly, happy 2024, happy 2023, and we are at the New Year's time. I cannot believe 2023 is over and 2024 is almost here, just 2 days away. Thank you so much for joining me, and that is a wrap on 2023. Thank you so much for watching this show throughout the year. I appreciate your support. I love to share this information with as many people as I can, and I just really enjoy creating this show. So thank you so much for being a part of it. I appreciate you. Happy New Year, and we'll see you next year.